If you're there, I will be right there. Just have to do the same thing here. I have to do every night over here. Okay. All right. Okay, hi Jessica, Paula, Deb on the Move, Steph, April, Poppies, Kathy, Chris Ree, Flower Girl, Donna, Maddie, Brandy, Paula, Mary Kim, Danette, Wake Up, Carla, Little Dove. Little Dove, I was just thinking about you the other day. I said, where is Little Dove? Tabs, how are you? Hi Sea Glass and Shells. Hi Susan. Hi Carol. I made this, but I'm not drinking anything hot today. I know it's hard to see from here, but it says State of New York with the Rambler in it. I made it on the Cricket for you Cricket people. Hello there, Deborah. Hi, Dave Noonan. Dave Noonan. Hello. Where do I know that Noonan? We just did something with that Noonan. Ivy, how are you? Pretty in Pink. Gigi, how are you doing? Robin, hi. Sharon, hello there. Kathy, hi. Evie, hello there. Mandy McCracken. You've been sick? Oh no. I hope you're better. Getting better at least. I have to eat some applesauce because I just took a whole bunch of vitamins. If I don't eat something, it'll be a lot worse than me eating some applesauce. Apple Snapple, yep. Girls were found today. Apple Snapple told me earlier. I told those of you that were in the Slack True Crime group. One Mama Lisa, hi. One Mama Lisa, hi. Valentine Baby. Backdoor Lonnie. Apple Snapple, Bergstrong. Amy, hey there, Amy. Justice League, you made it. They were found safe in Southern California. Very good. Hi, VA girl. Hi, Two Scooter. Now, how many people have seen Dirty John? Because that's not the story I'm going to tell you. But I just want to know how many of you have heard the podcast Dirty John, or you've seen this series, or you're familiar with Dirty John in some way. Hopefully not because you dated him. Hi, Laughing Lori. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Miss Mary. Hey, Jody. Hey, Crystal. Hi, Tracy. You caught a cold too? You're going on a cruise? Where are you going? Where are you going? How do I get in on Slack? Just email me. And let me know where you want to go in there. You watched the documentary, you saw Dirty John, you have. Okay, so, well, you have not seen it, Danette? Okay, well, it's, yeah, the Dirty John podcast is really good. I told people about it a long time ago, when I was not even doing live videos or any of true crime, but nobody wanted to talk about it with me. People that were coming to see a vacuum cleaner and stuff didn't want to talk about it. I don't know. Okay, good. All right, let me just finish this so I don't get sick, because I took a whole bunch of vitamins. And you know how that goes, right? Okay. I'm done. Enlighten you. Do I need to send you an email? You have the app. Okay. Mandy, if you got the invitation from me, did you get an invitation from me? You never mentioned it, but you had your baby. He was premature 6 weeks and is now 3 months old. Oh, well, that's great. I mean, I'm glad everything worked out. Sorry that he was 6 weeks early, but looks like everything's okay, right? So that's all good. Congratulations. We haven't seen Frugal Mom, though. Remember, she was having twins, I think? Hope she's okay. If you have an oh no, then send me an email. Yeah. You have to send me an email and tell me which groups you want to go into. Okay, so let me get. He was in the NICU for 19 days, but he's fine now. That's good. Hi, Sarah. You can't believe you're up. Yeah, we're going to talk about. Let me just get my stuff up here. So, okay. So, this is about the perfect man who wasn't. Okay. So this is really very, very similar to Dirty John in many, many ways. I'm just trying to see which. Okay, this is Missy. I'm going to put her picture up here. Okay, let me just make it a little larger. All right. By the spring of 2016, Missy Brandt, the woman you see pictured right there, had emerged from a rough few years with a new sense of solidarity. Okay, she was 45. She spent 3 years, she was 3 years sober and on the leeward side of a stormy divorce. She was living with her preteen daughters in the suburbs of St. Paul, Minnesota, and she was working as a flight attendant. Missy felt ready for a serious relationship again, so she made a profile on ourtime.com, which is a dating site for middle-aged people. Among all the duds, the desperate, the depressed, the not quite divorced, a 45-year-old man named Richie Peterson stood out. He was a career naval officer, an Afghanistan veteran, and was finishing his doctorate in political science at the University of Minnesota. When Missy liked his profile, he sent her a message right away and called her that afternoon. They talked about their kids. He had 2, she had 3, their divorces, their sobriety. Richie had told her he was on vacation in Hawaii, but planned to meet up as soon as he got back. A few days later, when he was supposed to pick her up for their first date, Richie was nowhere to be found, and he wasn't responding to her texts either. Missy sat in her living room, alternately furious at him for letting her down and at herself for getting her hopes up enough to be let down. I'm thinking, what a dumbass I am. He's probably at home, hanging out with his wife and kids, she said. At 10 p.m., she sent him a final message. This is completely unacceptable. A few minutes later, she got a reply from Richie's friend Chris, who said Richie had been in a car accident. He was okay, thank God, but the doctors wanted to do some extra testing, since he'd suffered some head trauma while he was in Afghanistan. If you remember Dirty John, he was a war hero too, right? Okay. Chris sent Missy a picture of Richie in a hospital bed, looking a little banged up but grinning gamely for the camera. Missy felt a wave of relief, both that Richie was okay and that her suspicions were unwarranted. When she finally did meet him in person, her relief was even more profound. Richie was tall and charming, a good talker, and a good listener. He seemed eager for a relationship. He could be a little awkward, but Missy chalked that up to his inexperience. He told her he hadn't been with a woman in 8 years. Plus, dating him was fun. Richie had a taste for nice things, expensive restaurants, 4-star hotels, and he was always insisting on paying. He kept a motorboat docked at a nearby marina, and he'd take Missy and her daughters out for afternoons on the water. The girls liked him, and so did the dog. Richie mentioned that his cousin Vicky worked for the same airline as Missy. The 2 women didn't work together regularly, but they knew each other. Missy thought it was a fun coincidence. Don't mention us to her, Richie said. One day we'll show up together to some family event and surprise her. It'll be great. A few months into their relationship, she missed a shift at work and got fired. Richie leaped into provider mode. He told her that he'd take care of her bills for the next 4 months, that she should relax and take stock of her life and spend time with her kids. Maybe he could put her and the girls on his university insurance. Maybe, he told her, with the benevolent confidence of a wealthy man, she didn't have to work. The offer wasn't all that appealing to Missy. I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom again, she said. But she took it as a sign that things were getting serious. The longer they kept dating, though, the more problems cropped up. Richie liked to say he didn't do drama, but drama seemed to follow him nonetheless. It got to feel as if every text from him was an announcement of some new disaster. He had to check his daughter Sarah into rehab. He had to put his beloved Shih Tzu, Thumper, to sleep. Richie had lingering medical problems from his time in the service, and Missy was constantly having to drop off or pick him up at the hospital. He was always canceling plans or not showing up when he was supposed to. When Missy got fed up, why did I get out of a crappy marriage just to be in this crappy relationship? Some new tragedy would happen. His mother died, he was in a motorcycle accident, and she'd be roped back in. One day in early August, driven by a feeling she couldn't quite pinpoint, Missy took a peek at Richie's wallet. Inside was a Minnesota state ID with a photograph that was unmistakably Richie's, but with an entirely different name, Derek Milan Aldred. The wallet also contained a couple of credit cards belonging to someone named Linda. Missy's heart sank. She had a nagging sense that something wasn't right in her relationship, but she'd shaken it off and passed it off as her being untrusting. These mysterious objects in his wallet, though, seemed to affirm that Richie was engaged in some larger form of deceit, even if she didn't understand all the details yet. While Missy Googled Derek Aldred, half a dozen mugshots of Richie, Derek, popped up, alongside news articles with alarming phrases such as career con man and long history of deception. Missy sat down on the couch and slowly read every word of every article she could find. Derek Aldred had posed as a firefighter and scammed hospitals out of drugs. Drugs, just like Dear John. Derek Aldred had dated a woman in California under false pretenses and drained her bank account of almost $200,000. Derek Aldred had married a woman, pretended to pay the bills on their home, and then vanished after it was foreclosed on. Derek Aldred had posed as a surgeon. Very much like Dear John. Checked into the posh St. Paul hotel with a woman and her 2 daughters, racked up nearly $2,000 in charges, and then skipped out on the bill and the woman. As she read, Missy began to feel sick, as if her body was having trouble physically assimilating the idea that her boyfriend was not a scholar and war hero, but rather a serial con man. Oh, hold on, I forgot to change your... Hold on a second. Here's all his degrees. And his awards there. Oh, those are his badges. Hold on, his degrees are in another one. So those are all fraudulent. About his military duty, and he does have fake degrees as well. There he is, David, posing in his Navy uniform as Richard Peterson. Okay, and then let me see, he had different military personas over here. And his various uniforms. And when he was a firefighter. That's his. Let's see. He would use that to get pain medication from emergency rooms. Okay, he purchased his fake military credentials off of eBay. But I'll go into that more in a minute. I'm going to see. I'm going to finish Missy's story before we go into all the other things he has done. One. And those credit cards kept nagging at her. There is someone else out there who is being completely freaking screwed right now, she remembers thinking. It took a bit of detective work, but eventually Missy tracked Linda down on Facebook and sent her a message. You're probably going to think I'm crazy, it began. When Linda Dias, age 46, got Missy's message, she was in the house she shared with Rich Peterson, her boyfriend of 7 months. Linda, who is tall and blonde and funny, had been going through an ugly divorce when she met Rich on ourtime.com, and he'd seemed almost too good to be true. A Christian, a military vet, a fellow conservative. On their first date, after the servers set down their plates, Rich closed his eyes and said a beautiful prayer. I was blown away by that, Linda told me, when we met at a wine bar in St. Paul over the summer. Here I was on a first date, and he's actually going to stop and say a prayer in a restaurant. It was touching. Linda was smitten. Head over heels, you know, she said. Within 2 weeks, he was at my house all the time. After a few months, Linda lost her job with a financial services company, but Rich made it seem okay. He found them a house to rent in an upscale suburb of St. Paul, one that she wouldn't have been able to afford on her own, and she and her 6-year-old son moved in. Linda hung her clothes next to Rich's Navy uniforms. He displayed the framed certificates for his military honors, a Purple Heart, a Silver Star, on the walls. One day she stumbled onto paperwork for a $100,000 college fund he had secretly started for her son, and her heart surged. Recently, though, the relationship had been rockier. Rich drank a lot, and his constant trips to the hospital, which he blamed on his persistent efforts of his war wounds, were exhausting. When Linda received Missy's message, she initially dismissed it as the rantings of a jealous ex. But for a few weeks, she had a vague sense things between her and Rich were askew in some fundamental way. When a couple of days later, she finally opened the links Missy had sent, she realized why. My first instinct was, how do I get him out of the house, she recalled. He solved that problem for her, announcing that he was once again in so much pain he needed to go to the emergency room. Linda dropped him off, and then she called the police on her way home. She sat up for hours. At 3 a.m, Derek told her he would catch an Uber home, and Linda alerted the police. When she saw the red and blue lights through her window, she sent Missy a message letting her know that Derek was in custody. Linda eventually figured out that Derek Aldred had not only been lying about his name, his job, and his past, he'd been depleting her savings to bolster his fake life. As she went over her bank statement, she said she began to piece it together, how he had stolen her emergency credit cards out of her jewelry box and ordered new cards in her name, and then used those cards to fund fancy dinners and trips to Hawaii with her and other women. how he'd siphoned money from her retirement savings to pay off the credit card bills and to buy a boat and 2 motorcycles he had ostensibly given her as gifts. How he'd ask her to drop him off at the hospital only to get Missy to pick him up as soon as she was gone. How her name was somehow the only one on the house lease, and she was now on the hook for rent she couldn't afford. The night after Derek's arrest, Missy came over so Linda wouldn't have to be alone. When Linda's dog trotted into the room, Missy laughed. "Thumper," she said, "I thought you were dead." Derek's mother, they later learned, was also still alive. On the surface, the 2 women didn't seem to have much in common. Missy is grounded and easygoing, with a yin-yang symbol tattooed on her big toe, while Linda is a conservative Navy vet with a drawl that betrays her Texas roots. But they bonded over the absurdity of their shared situation. Hold on one second. Just going to put up Linda's picture. The next day, Washington County Police were at Linda's house, taking her statement when a delivery arrived addressed to Richie Peterson. Linda handled the package gingerly. It felt like a missive from an alternate reality. One of the police officers told her she might as well open it. It's not like he's a real person. The box contained whiskey and chocolate and a sweet get-well-soon note from a woman whose return address was just a few neighborhoods away. Linda texted Missy, who compiled a complete dossier of news articles documenting all of Derek's misdeeds and dropped it off with the 3rd woman, Joy, who asked to be identified by her middle name. That weekend, Joy stopped by Linda's, and the 2 women split a bottle of wine, trying to piece together how they'd been taken so thoroughly. Joy, a 42-year-old IT director, had also met Rich on hardtime.com in February. He told her he was a professor who volunteered at homeless shelters downtown. The women later found out that he had actually been living at the shelter before he moved in with Linda. They dated for a few months until he started having a ton of drama in his life, Joy said. She broke it off with him, but stayed friendly. On the 4th of July, he sent her a picture of himself looking tan and happy, his arms around Missy and her kids on the boat that Linda had paid for. "I bought a boat and took my sister and her kids out on it today," he wrote. "My life has calmed down. Want to try again?" Joy decided to give him another chance. She later found that he'd stolen almost $8,000 worth of jewelry, her passport, and her birth certificate. The false life that Derek, it was still hard not to slip up and call him Rich, had constructed for himself was thorough. He had a University of Minnesota email and an ID that allowed him to swipe into university buildings. He would FaceTime the women from University of Minnesota classrooms between classes. He had hour-long phone conversations, ostensibly with his admirable, his faculty supervisor, or his daughter Sarah, 3 people who turned out not to exist, during which Linda could hear a voice on the other end of the line. He had uniforms and medals and stack of framed official-looking awards, a Purple Heart, a Silver Star, a SEAL Team 1 membership, a certificate of completion for a naval underwater demolition course. There were so many props bolstering Derek's story that even when doubts had started to bubble up, the women had repressed them. There's no way it could all be fake, they told themselves. That would be crazy. The 3 women's conversations had another recurring theme. "We also knew there had to be more victims," Linda told me. "Americans love a con man." Let's see. In his blithe refusal to stick to one category of class, his constant self-reinvention, the confidence man, as he is almost always a man, takes one of America's Foundational myths. You can be anything you want to be, to its extreme. The con man, the writer Lewis Hyde has argued, is one of America's unacknowledged founding fathers. Con men thrive in times of upheaval. Transition is the confidence game's great ally. Maria Konnikova writes The Confidence Game, an account of how swindlers manipulate human psychology. There's nothing a con artist likes better than exploiting the sense of unease we feel when it appears that the world as we know it is about to change. The first great era of the American scam artist, the period when the confidence man got his name, began in the mid-19th century. The country was rapidly urbanizing. Previously far-flung places were newly linked by railroads. Americans were meeting more strangers than ever before, and thanks to a growing economy, they had more money than previous generations. All of these strangers, all of that cash resulted in an era powered by trust, one that Mark Twain and Charles Dudley Warner satirized in The Gilded Age for its unlimited reliance upon human promises. The age of the internet, with its infinitude of strangers and swiftly evolving social motives, mores, has been good for con men. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, which tracks internet facilitated criminal activity, received nearly 300,000 complaints in 2016, reporting total losses of more than $1.3 billion. Of those, more than 14,500 were for relationship fraud, a number that has more than doubled since 2011. In 2016, relationship scams were the second most costly form of internet fraud after wire fraud, netting scammers nearly $220 million. By comparison, Americans lost only $31 million to phishing scams, about $2.5 million to ransomware attacks, and $1.6 million to phony charities. The FBI warns that the most common targets of dating scams are women over 40 who are divorced, widowed, and/or disabled. In many cases, women are courted online by men who claim to be deployed in Afghanistan or attending an offshore oil rig in Qatar. After weeks of months of intimate emails, texts, and phone calls, the boyfriend will urgently need money to replace a broken laptop or buy a plane ticket home. Some, like Derek or Dirty John Meehan, whose romance scam was exposed by the Los Angeles Times, escalate an online relationship to an in-person con, going as far as living with their victims or even marrying them. Derek stands out for how remarkably prolific he was. He often had 2 or 3 separate relationship scams going at one time. When one woman discovered the truth, he'd quickly move on to another. According to the Justice Department, only 15% of fraud victims report the crimes to law enforcement, largely due to shame, guilt, embarrassment, and disbelief. You feel really crappy about yourself, Missy told me, then slipped into a tone that sounded like the mean voice that lives inside her head. I'm a stupid woman. I'm a dumbass. But Derek's victims didn't let their shame stop them from coming forward. Many of them did report him, only to discover that by drawing them so deeply into his con, he had paradoxically made it less likely that he'd face consequences. I cannot speak tonight. The police released Derek after 48 hours, telling Linda they wanted to build a stronger case. A police spokeswoman said the county attorney had concluded that fraud charges probably wouldn't have held up in court because Linda and Derek's lives were so entwined. It would have been too difficult to determine which credit card charges were fraudulent and which were authorized. 7 months later, the police department finally issued a warrant for Derek's arrest on one misdemeanor charge of impersonating an officer. By then he was long gone. While Linda sorted through her finances, her sister-in-law delved into old news articles about Derek, looking for any information that might be useful in bringing him to justice. Most of the women quoted were anonymous, or referred to only by their first name. A woman named Cindy Pardini, however, had used her full name. a tech professional living in San Francisco, she said Derek had stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars and 660,000 airline miles from her over the course of a few months in 2013. Linda sent Cindy a Facebook message and soon learned that Cindy was a kind of unofficial point person for Derek's accusers, because her name was one of the only searchable ones linked to his. Women who'd been scammed by Derek reached out to Cindy through Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. She was in touch with about a dozen victims. Cindy wasn't always easy to deal with. On the phone with the other victims, she'd ramble for hours about Derek and the trouble he brought to her life, how he drained her bank account, ruined her credit score, and undermined her sense of reality. I was not in a good place, Cindy admits. This has taken over my life for the past 5 years. My friends and family are like, why are you still going after this? It's killing you. But Cindy's single-mindedness also made her the case's most diligent detective. She kept careful track of news reporting on Derek's exploits and made sure police were informed. She also contacted Derek's college-age daughter, who Cindy learned was estranged from her father. The second daughter, Sarah, was a fabrication. And she talked with one of his childhood friends who said that Derek, who had grown up in a wealthy suburb of San Francisco, was trouble from an early age. He often discussed his family with Missy, and at least some of what he said appears to have been true. He'd talk about how they were such good people, and how he was such a black sheep in the family, Missy said. Cindy was in touch with one of the earliest victims, a woman who had met Derek in the early 1990s, and had been convinced that he was a medical student conducting important cystic fibrosis research. Cindy added Linda to a group text with several other victims, and Linda found some comfort in swapping stories with them, and in seeing that they were far from stupid. If anything, Derek seems to have preferred intelligent women. His victims included a doctor and a couple of women who worked in tech. Linda herself was an engineer at a nuclear power plant. But the other women's stories of trying to hold Derek to account for his crimes were not encouraging. Joanne, a 43-year-old from Minneapolis, who asked that her last name not be used, met Derek Aldred on Match.com in August of 2014. He told her he was a lawyer with a big downtown firm. In reality, he was hiding out from a warrant for defrauding the St. Paul Hotel. Derek racked up $23,000 on Joanne's credit cards during the 3 months that they were together. When she reported him to the police, she was told the legal action would likely be a waste of her time and money. The fraud detective told me it would cost me way too much money to get a lawyer and sue him in civil court, Joanne said. Hang on one second, I'm just trying to get another picture up here. That is Joanne, just so you know that. He said they'd say I was just blaming my ex-boyfriend because I'm bitter. He said if I were you, I'd let it go. 6 months and many phone calls later, the credit card company finally reversed the charges, but Joanne still regrets not taking Derek to court, just because of how many women he hurt since me, she says. Altogether, Derek seems to have scammed at least a dozen women out of about $1 million since 2010. He used different names and occupations, but the identities he took on always had an element of financial prestige or manly valor. Decorated veteran, surgeon, air marshal, investment banker. Con artists have long known that a uniform bolsters an illusion, and Derek was fond of dressing up in scrubs and military fatigues. He tended to look for women in their 40s or 50s, preferably divorced, preferably with a couple of kids and a dog or two. Many of his victims were in a vulnerable place in their lives, recently divorced, fresh out of an abusive relationship, or recovering from a serious accident. And he presented himself as a hero and caretaker, the man who would step in and save the day. Even women who weren't struggling when they met Derek soon found their lives destabilized by the chaos he brought. They lost jobs. They had panic attacks. They became estranged from family members. Yet, as far as the growing group of Derek's victims could ascertain, he had never been charged for a crime against any of the women he'd scammed, only for defrauding businesses. Derek seems to have counted on the fact that credit card abuse is often not taken all that seriously by law enforcement when the victim and the perpetrator know each other. Even in instances where the police pursued Derek, he'd typically serve a short sentence, or he just skipped town, like he did in November of 2014 after he was caught racking up thousands of dollars in fraudulent charges at luxury hotels. When he was finally captured and brought back to Minnesota, prosecutors lobbied to escalate the charges and hold him on $100,000 bail. That's a little harsh, don't you think? The judge asked. Judge, if I may, the assistant county attorney replied, the defendant is a con man. He conned a number of victims within the state of Minnesota. He's been all over the world pretending to be people he's not and taking money from people who don't have money to spare. The judge denied the motion. About 6 months later, Derek was released. Shortly afterward, and despite the fact that his parole mandated that he stay in Minnesota, he was sitting on a beach in Hawaii with another woman who thought she met the perfect man. For years, Derek had evaded punishment by moving around. Local police had limited ability to chase him across state lines, but the women he'd victimized had no jurisdictional limitations. They began tracking his progress across the country, using social media to share updates and information and to warn others. Missy reached out to her former co-workers at the airline. Vicky, who was Derek's cousin-in-law, that part of the story at least wasn't a total lie. After Missy explained what Derek had done, Vicky agreed to pass on any information she learned. Through a family member, Vicky heard that Derek had left Minnesota and was hiding out with his mother in Sedona, Arizona, where, lo and behold, he had an outstanding warrant for an old DUI. Urged on by Missy, Vicky alerted the police, who picked him up in early September 2016 and held him in the county jail for a few days. It wasn't much, but the women took satisfaction in seeing him face at least some consequences. Still, Derek had a remarkable ability to keep perpetrating the same scam. After his release for the DUI, he began dating a new woman posing as a Navy SEAL, Richie Peterson. She soon discovered he had stolen and pawned some of her jewelry. He was arrested, pleaded no contest, and was taken back to jail, but was bailed out and never showed up for sentencing. By July of 2017, he'd popped up in Las Vegas, where he met another woman and joined a country club, racking up charges before skipping town in April. When new victims reached out to Cindy Pardini, she'd add them to the group text so they could share their stories with the other women. It was frustrating to find out about Derek's latest escapades only after the damage had been done. His victims watched and waited, hoping he'd soon make a mistake that would take him out of the action for good. Consume enough media about scam artists, and strangely enough, you too might find yourself waiting to date one. In The Big Con, perhaps the seminal book on American con men, David Maurer calls them the aristocrats of crime. The writer and critic Luxante once wrote that the best possess a combination of superior intelligence, broad general knowledge, acting ability, resourcefulness, physical vigor, and improvisational skills that would have propelled them to the top of any profession. On film, they've played with a spring in their step and a glint in their eye. Think Paul Newman in The Sting, Leonardo DiCaprio in If You Catch Me If You Can. The con man looks good in a suit and is in on the joke. Humor is never very far from the heart of the con, wrote Sante. And who doesn't want to be in on the joke? Our appetite for stories about cons is, in part, a way of reassuring ourselves that we'd never be so foolish as to be taken in. It's in our own self-interest to dismiss the victims of a con as greedy. You can't cheat an honest man, as the adage goes, or just plain dumb. If being scammed is somehow their fault, that means it couldn't happen to us. One excellent way to dispel yourself of any con man fantasies, however, is to spend some time with the people they've hurt. Derek's victims are negotiating ruined credit scores, and calls from collection agencies. Several were so flattened by the experience they've had old medical problems flare up, or they've struggled to go back to work. You just lose days, Linda told me. She's plastered her wall with sticky notes mapping out Derek's crimes. That's what I was doing instead of looking for a job. Instead of taking care of the motorcycle, the bank accounts, the bad checks, instead of moving on with my life, instead of living, saddled with the rent for a house she couldn't afford, she scraped together enough to pay for all, but that very last month. Now she has an eviction on her record. She and her son crashed on friends' couches while she found a place to live, and she told me her ex-husband has begun campaigning for full custody of their son. Even more damaging than the financial ramifications was the damage to their fundamental faith in the world, the bedrock sense that things are what they seem. My mind was all over the place. Am I being taken in, or am I being overly suspicious? Derek's Las Vegas victim, Kelly, recalls, "It's so far-fetched, you're just like, there's no way." He gets into your life, your family's life, your finances. I didn't know that people like him existed. The damage rippled onward, affecting the women's family and friends as well. It just about killed my mother, Linda said. He would sit and talk with her for hours. She's like, was all of it a lie? Many of the women I spoke with felt compelled to make the same point, that this wasn't just a dating scam story. They reminded me that Derek had scammed hospitals and insurance companies long before he began meeting women on dating sites, and that he'd conned many people beyond just 40-something divorcees. Hold on a second. He won over their parents, friends, and co-workers. He convinced hotel clerks and Mercedes salesmen and bankers and real estate agents and doctors, and he was able to finagle country club memberships and hospital admissions. He met actual Navy veterans who took him at his word. Derek's victims kept underlying this point. I think because they understood that crimes against women, particularly ones that happen in a domestic context, are often discounted. It's a he said, she said domestic fight to the police, Linda said. They lump it right in there with divorce and family law. She said an officer told her, well, it's not like anyone got hurt. We have higher priorities. They knew that some people hear dating scam and translate that to pathetic, desperate woman. The implication is that these women should have known better, or perhaps that they're complicit in their own victimization. If a woman reports her ex for stealing from her, who's to say she's not broken-hearted and vindictive? Derek himself was happy to exploit such stereotypes. When his victims uncovered his real identity, he'd sometimes threaten to expose them as bad mothers or alcoholics, crazy women who couldn't be trusted. Even Derek's victims, who understand better than anyone else how these things work, repeatedly questioned one another's choices when speaking with me. How did she let it go on that long? Why did she let him move in with her when she barely knew him? How did she not see through this or that obvious lie? It's a testament to the persistent belief that cons always happen to someone else, that women who had fallen for Derek Aldred's schemes heard other victims' very similar stories and thought, I never would have fallen for that. For Missy and Linda, their crossed paths have resulted in a peculiar sort of friendship that can arise from shared trauma. Derek entwined their lives without their consent, taking Missy out on the boat he bought with Linda's money, showing Missy photos of Linda's son, his nephew. Initially, there was some slight underlying tension between the two women due to the fact that Derek hadn't stolen any money from Missy, while he drained more than $200,000 from Linda's retirement account. Joy had floated the theory that Missy was the one Derek really cared for, an idea that Linda dismissed out of hand. That man is not capable of love. On a warm day last spring, I followed Linda over to Missy's house in the suburbs of St. Paul. We talked about Derek for 4 hours, dissecting his actions and puzzling over his motivations. Late in the evening, Linda told another wild part of the saga, involving a $500,000 house Derek was going to buy for them before the escrow money mysteriously went missing. You listen to Linda and you're like, how did you take that at face value, Missy said. I had my other stuff going on, Linda said, a bit testily. He could have told me the sky was purple, and I would have been like, okay. I had irons in every fire at that point. And I didn't, so I would call him out on things, Missy said. She suddenly sounded very sad. But I kept letting him come back. On May 17, 2017, Richie Taylor left the townhouse he shared with his new girlfriend, Dory, to have dinner with his brother and sister-in-law. Dory was idly scanning through pictures on the iPad Richie had left behind when she saw one that brought her up short. It was a screenshot of an Instagram post showing a man in a hospital bed. A big thank you for everyone's prayers and support. Should be out of the hospital Monday, the caption read. The name on the account was Derek M. Allred. I was like, heck, that's Richie, Dory told me. When she Googled Derek Allred, an alternate spelling he sometimes used, she found the trove of news stories and mugshots. Suddenly, all those fraudulent charges that kept cropping up on her credit cards made sense. Dory printed out the articles and brought them to the police department in the Colony, the small town outside of Dallas where she lived. I thank God to this day that it was a female officer that took my statement, she said. She took it seriously. While Dory waited to hear if the police came up with any leads, she scoured the internet for information about Derek. Like so many of the other victims, she stumbled on Cindy Pardini. The two women talked on the phone. I heard all about the havoc he left behind, Dory told me. I vowed that there was no way there'd be another victim after me. Hang on, I'm just going to drink. I'm going to put up another picture too around here. Dory made sure to show the Colony detectives pictures of Derek in his Navy uniform, and the detectives contacted the Naval Criminal Investigation Service under the Stolen Valor Act of 2013. Seeking profit by using phony military honors is a federal crime, which meant that NCIS could launch a multi-state investigation. After Dory caught on to him, Derek began staying with his other girlfriend, Tracy Cunningham. But it didn't take long for Tracy, who works at a post-acute rehab facility, to get sick of having him around all day. He was, she decided, entirely too whiny, constantly insisting that she drive him to the hospital for some emergency or another. There are a lot of men out there who get a little headache and they think they have a massive tumor and that they're dying, she told me. It's a man thing. He had some of that. Real dramatic. Just after Memorial Day, Tracy finally dumped him. A few hours later, while she was at work, she got a call from the NCIS agent, who told her that she'd been dating a con man. Derek hadn't stolen anything from Tracy as far as she could tell, except time and a little dignity. But when she heard about the other victims, she immediately agreed to help NCIS capture him. At the agent's urging, Tracy sent Derek a text, taking back the breakup. I'm sorry, baby, I was hormonal, and mad, and made plans to give him a ride home after his next medical appointment. When Derek was ready to be picked up, Tracy alerted the NCIS officer and his team. They hightailed it over there, and I'm on my way too, because I'm not missing this, Tracy said, I'm sorry. She pulled up to the patient loading area. Through the hospital's sliding glass doors, she spied Derek in handcuffs, flanked by two agents. I turn on my hazards. I pop out with my cell phone and I start snapping pictures, Tracy said. The NCIS agent is like, no, but I'm like, oh yeah, I need pictures of this. This is for justice for the other people. With Derek finally in custody, His victims celebrated, texting one another grim fantasies about the future that awaited him in prison. NCIS agents interviewed victims around the country, whose stories bolstered the case that Derek was a habitual offender. A few days before Christmas, Derek pleaded guilty to 2 counts of identity theft and 1 count of mail fraud, charges with a combined maximum penalty of 24 years in prison. As of press time, his sentencing hearing hasn't yet been scheduled. His victims are hoping he'll serve long enough that he'll come out an old man, less able to flirt his way into women's bank accounts. In the meantime, they continue their slow work of putting their lives back together. Missy has finally gotten to a point where she can make jokes about Derek with her daughters. Linda has started tentatively dating again after more than a year. The other day, when she was out to dinner with a guy, she peeked in his wallet just to make sure that the name he told her matched the name on his ID. Dory, Derek's last victim, for now at least, recently submitted the police report and a file of articles about Aldred to her bank and credit card companies to clean up the financial mess he made. Citibank promptly reversed the $7,000 in fraudulent charges that he racked up on one of her cards, but Chase has refused to credit her for the $10,000 he spent on another. They refused to refund me, she told me, because she said I knew the guy. When asked for comment, Chase said that Dory had authorized Derek's use of the credit card and that she told a fraud supervisor that many of the transactions were valid. This past summer, I made an appointment for a video visit with Derek at the Denton County Jail in Texas. I had so many lingering questions. Who was on the other side of the line when Derek had those hour-long conversations with his daughter or his admiral? How had he finagled his university email address and ID card? Did he have a secret stash of money somewhere? And then there was the question I imagined was unanswerable, but that I needed to ask anyway. What did it feel like to be so skilled at faking love? Hang on, I'm just putting another picture up here. Make this a little larger. I sat in the visitation room, doodling in my notebook as the appointed time came and went. I resigned myself to the idea that nothing was going to happen when the screen suddenly illuminated and I saw Derek Aldred's angular face and blunt chin, familiar from all those mug shots he was in. An orange jumpsuit, and the camera caught him at an awkward overhead angle like an unflattering selfie. I told him I was a journalist, and he seemed unfazed. I was going to decline the visit, but the guard said, "Are you sure? It's a pretty girl," he said, flashing me a smile. By the end of our conversation, Derek said he wanted to tell his side of the story to me and only me, and I promised we would talk again soon. I hung up the phone, feeling a particular kind of journalistic high as I got my story cockiness. Over the next few months, I spoke with Derek several times. He was never quite ready to reveal anything of substance in the half-an-hour blocks of time that the prison video phone seemed to allow us. He wanted to wait until a certain court date had passed, or he needed to consult his lawyer. 2 sides to every story, he kept telling me, 2 sides. He professed to want to be fully forthcoming with me, but our calls always seemed to get cut off at the most crucial moments. Sometimes he just never answered. At first, I chalked our communication difficulties up to the institutional roadblocks of prison communication, but they kept piling up. It took much longer than I'd like to admit to realize what I had felt the first day after I left the Denton County Jail and drove too fast past the hayfields of North Texas singing along to Merle Haggard, that the future was sunny and full of promise because I had met a man that was going to give me everything I wanted. And that's the end. Hang on a second. Let me just come back to the chat and get a drink. He's so hot, Alicia. Okay. Oh my goodness. So, what'd you think of that? Melly Mel, my tree is dead. Hey there. Hi there, Diana. Hi, Melly Mel. Hi, Winter Snow. Hi, Olivia. Hi there, Kathy from Texas. Who else came? Aries Girl. Songbird Katie. Stephanie, Whisper to Me. I don't know who else I missed there. Paula. Carol. Sybil. Sarah. Jenna. Jessica. Linda. Okay, so what did you think of that? He's gross, you said, Sarah. Saddest month? You love January because the holidays are over. Hi, Tamara. Your ex dressed for work for several months in a uniform and had gotten fired months back. Really, Tamara? What was he doing about, what were you seeing, what about like his paychecks and stuff? That's like, what, isn't that like, was it John List that did that? Must have been seriously charming and threw plenty of, because that boy is not a looker. Sitting in his mistress' apartment for 9 months. But what about his paychecks? Hi, Kathy, Sharon, Ann, Bella. One excuse after another about his social security number was down wrong. Hi, Earthbound. A lot of people are up to no good. Is that a general statement, Earthbound, or because of this? Hi, Mickey Fan. Hi, the Brian Clan. Pay a PI for a full price background check before agreeing to meet. So, sorry, you would do that just meeting a guy for coffee, or if you saw there was a connection first, would you wait to see if there was even a connection? Because if you don't, like if you go to Dunkin' Donuts to meet for the coffee and you're like, this guy is a joke, I'm not dating this guy, and you walk out, then would you say do it after your first connection there? No, this is blueberry applesauce, no sugar, just regular, like there's no sugar added. It's just apples and blueberries. He did me a huge favor. He married her, and I've been with my hubby for 28 years. Good. You've done it with your current with your current husband? But wait, after you found out there was a connection, sorry, or you just did it because you did it to your husband when you met? First date period? Really? Wouldn't you be pissed? How much is that? If you spent all that money and then you like met the guy at Starbucks or something and you walked out in 10 minutes because there was no connection or chemistry or even attraction? Some people go through like 10, 12 first dates before that would be a lot of money. I'd pay for the service and do one on my own right away. I miss those catfishes. First day. Who wasn't a very good mom? Who wasn't? I would advise all women keep their financial status to themselves. Google them for sure, yeah. You can find out a lot on Google. I paid costs to my attorney friend as soon as he asked me out. I didn't know Tone who knew him. You've never been out on a date. Oh, your husband's mother? 51st date, so somebody just told me about that. Times are different now. Only if you started dating would I do a check. I, of course, at my age, would never date. And after marriage, keep your money separate. She sent all her Christmas money and her daughter's college money to the same guy online. Your husband's mother did? Oh my gosh. How did he feel about him doing a background? How did who feel? Sari's husband, or who or the Bryan clans? Who are you asking, Alicia? Oh, the fires. Yeah, the California guys are supposed to be on their way tomorrow. Just added months. Sugar-free blueberry. Yeah, it's good. There's other flavors too that are really good too. Before marriage, a woman of means should have a prenup. Your husband didn't know. He knows now. No. Google is a great friend. Yeah, you can find out a lot of stuff on Google now. I mean, really. Owen says everyone should have a prenup. A lot of older women falling for scams and giving their money away so crazy. Linda says. Back to the whole don't check my search history. Was looking up drugs men could take to have many Cheerios. Several articles and websites later. Yep, like who knew Mark is full of fake Cheerios. A woman of means doesn't need a husband. Prayers for Australia, yes, absolutely. I told him after he proposed, he said he figured I would do so. He learned that I was a cautious person. Somebody that doesn't have anything to hide, I don't think, they wouldn't hold it against someone. You know what I mean? I think the only people that get upset about something like that are those that are trying to hide something. No, I'm not. I'm not, Alicia. I'm done. You're living vicariously through me? Why, Alicia? Are you eating all the time watching? No cereal for you this morning? Why not, Evie? Oh, the Cheerios. Oh, sorry. Plus, check out his English. Wait, who's English? Who are we talking about? Sears is coming to fix the dryer. Inside computer system fried. Haven't done laundry for 2 weeks, so think of me tomorrow afternoon. Be careful. Dating sites are a big scam. Tried it. I'm done. Darwin, I don't think I know a lot of people that have met on dating sites. You just have to be careful, like with anything else. If you just type in your name, you can find dirt. Absolutely. There's something to be said for long engagements. Hi, Mama Drama. Oh, the guy. Okay. I suspect random neighbors of weird things and then have to get a grip. Well, think about it. I mean, there's a lot of us here. I mean, some of our neighbors are probably doing weird things. Some of our neighbors might even be serial killers. Right? We're here from all over the world, all different places. You don't think someone here might have a neighbor either next door, down the street, in the same town that's a serial killer? Not even okay, maybe not a serial killer, but that has killed someone, or that is going to kill someone. I don't know. Darwin, it's worked out. But see, some people could say, you know, I don't know. Snacks every night, Alicia. Your son met his wife on a dating site. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have. I mean, I always think my neighbors are up to no good. Even in here, too, Scooter? Yeah, maybe they're picking up tips in here. These ladies are teaching me how not to get caught. You've watched too much Discovery Idea, you don't trust anyone. Your brother did? Yeah, there's a lot of people that have. You only have 2 neighbors, so you think you're good? I don't know. It only takes 1. True story, we had a killer here. Very prominent person in the community, pleaded guilty last year to a 25-year-old murder. Interesting. And many creepy pedophiles. I think my upstairs neighbors are careful. They are always, cartel, they're always vacuuming. No dating sites for me. I already found my guy, the con artist in the pic. There is a site. Do you guys remember the site that there's a site that people put, it was one of the stories that we read. There's a site where people put their cheaters on there. They like in the Dear John, she found a website where women put the names of guys that were cheating and stuff. You remember the name of that site? Hey there. Hi, Sassy. How's your mom? Sassy's mom is she still in the hospital? Prayers for Sassy's mom, please. I put it in the comments. I don't know if you saw it in the other video. You're back with chocolate pudding, Gigi. So please send her prayers, good thoughts. Right? Dear John, it was also on another one. I think they should have a lot of those databases. Do you remember the name of it? That would be fun, just to put people's names in there and see what comes up. Oh, I know the show called Cheaters, yeah. You've known people that have also been scammed on dating sites. People can be scammed anyway, anywhere. Dating sites is a good thing, but people can be scammed, sitting in a bar. People can be scammed sitting in a hotel. People can be scammed in the grocery store. There's a lot of scams. Cheaterville. Dirty John was the worst. You think everyone is a killer? Oh, the Golden Globes. I saw some of it. It was so-so. It wasn't. I'm not really. I don't know. Can anyone feel the hopeful feeling that the new year brings? Oh, can everybody feel it? I don't know, Stephanie. I get kind of like let down in January. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's like, just like that's what I'm saying. January always lasts so long, but last year was when I started doing like a lot more videos and all the Chris Watts stuff, and I think that made things go really fast, and I noticed the winter like whizzed right by, and I'm hoping, not that I want time to go so fast because time goes so fast anyway, but the winter I wouldn't mind speeding along a little bit. I feel more when spring comes with the actual like rebirth. Right now, it's like this is the part of winter that I don't like. I hate it. Because if it's snowing or something like in November, December, it's like the anticipation of the holidays and everything. And then January, we usually get bitter, bitter cold. And then like below zero. And it's horrible. It's brutal. You can't even go outside. Sometimes you get a January thaw and it's nice, but sometimes you don't. At least February, you can say spring is the next month. Okay, but it still can be bitterly cold. But you're looking for, I think January is the hardest month for me typically to get through. But I feel that it goes much faster since this. I don't know. It feels like maybe because a lot of people might get like cabin fever or something, and this is like we talk to each other. I don't know what it is. We'll see if it does the same thing this year or not. You were taking down a Christmas tree? The wind direction must have completely changed because the smoke in Melbourne is really, really bad. Oh no, Potter. Hi, Patty Gorilla. You don't mind January and February? I feel like I can just relax. Yeah, it's also good like to try to say, do a winter project, but so many times I say I'm going to do a winter project and I never do that. Like there's this, and that scares me too, but that's a whole nother thing. Lisa, Carolyn, thank you for your efforts for a great channel. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Friday long too. It's a leap year, 29 days in February. I think I just said Friday too long. Crazy February. You took down, wow, you guys are like right on that stuff. We're in the 70s and 80s here. I think winter hates it here. Veronica. I'm not really feeling it. I hate to say this, but even Christmas didn't feel right to me. Lots of stuff going on that interfered. Yeah, Carol, yep. I hear ya. I hear ya. When did you start doing your lives? I'm thinking around March. Around that time I joined up. I think February. I do. I think the first one, if you look at that crazy one that we couldn't shut off, I think that was February. I started doing a video on, oh gosh, like December 13th. Something like that. Mid-December is when I made my first Watts video. And then from there, I was doing the videos, premieres. We were doing premieres every other day, every other day. At least every other day, sometimes every day. Then we started with a few lives. Then we were alternating. Then we were doing lives, all lives. Then some premieres, lives like that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Stephanie. You met a guy online. You couldn't figure out why he always wanted to pick him up from work. He was the president of a large company. He couldn't drive because he was out on work release during the day. Oh my gosh. I found your live after my surgery on April 11th. Saved my nights because I couldn't sleep. Oh, Miss Mary. We talk about Valerie Bertinelli movies. Yeah, the Meat Mittens. The Meat Mittens. Strangely enough, this is the best Christmas in a long time. Oh, really, Sharon? That's nice. Now, if you don't come on, we all flip out, Michaela. Valentine's Day is coming up. Groundhog. Oh, yeah, Groundhog Day. Right. I wish you would talk to Aries girl. Why, is she talking to me? I'm missing it? What do you mean you wish I would talk to Aries girl? Aries girl, am I not talking to you? What do you mean, Kathy? What happened? I missed something. What's going on, Aries girl? Every night, Olivia. What's going on with Aries girl? Remember the Louis under? Yeah, I still think Louis is gone. Not with us anymore. I don't know. Kathy said she wishes I would talk to you. Oh, wait a minute. Kathy, we did talk. Kathy, are you talking about her brother? Her little brother? I don't know if she's talking about Aries. Is she talking about something different or what? Kathy, we had her on the other night. I'm confused unless it's another story. No, the Interpol guy next door. The Interpol guy next door. Oh, I didn't hear about the Interpol guy. Kathy from Texas. Hey, Casbat. She has another story. You want to call in, Aries, with your other story? I had Someone tried to scam me on Instagram last week. I gave them bogus information and I blocked them. Evie Bubbles. He has a series baskets? I never heard that. Her neighbor, okay, no, because I live next, she doesn't want to because she lives next door to them. Can you talk fictitiously, like about your cousin that lived next door to somebody like that? Hey, William. Good night, Olivia. You remember the first one, Mickey Fan? That was fun. How do you shut this blasted thing up? I was thinking about all this community has done and been through in a year. That's nice, Casbat. Yep. Lots of stuff. I think Kathy is talking about something different. Hi, Jen. She is. She's talking about something different. Oh, it's dangerous for her girls. Ex-boyfriend in Australia is a professional poker player. Omaha, nowadays Texas Hold'em. You're going to sign off and listen on your TV and try to drift off to sleep. Okay, Songbird, Katie, good night. As what I've seen, he seems nice, but it's definitely interesting. I see. Yeah, you're amazing too, Hasbat, everybody. There's a website with tons of info. What website? Which website has tons of info? What are we talking about? The cheating one? A cheating one? Something like, or a crazy one? There should be a crazy internet one too, right? For like internet trolls that are ridiculous. Let's hear it. Can you tell us where it is? Where what is? What are we talking about? I missed everything. Where is Lisa? She probably isn't feeling good. Oh, Lisa's not here? Maybe we came on early. She's probably snoozing. She usually does the 4 to 4. She might be doing the 11 to 11. I don't know. No, for a gem show. Oh, a gem show. Trollapalooza. You arrived last, but I wonder why this subject. What do you mean you wonder why? Because it's interesting and it is true crime. And I like Dirty John, and this was like another Dirty John. Why else would you think? Wrong shift. I think she's probably, no, we are earlier than, like, I think she's probably sleeping. If you want the truth. Maybe she's just getting up or something. You have sleep problems. Okay, so let me see what else I had on tap before we go into Sievers or anything else. I'm having a hard time reconciling Mark Sievers and I'm not sure that I understand how a guy that picks out his wife's dresses, that constantly is asking his wife if she has her lunch, going down to pick up her stuff, gassing up her car, never even getting, like he lost his cool in like 2 texts, and it was immediate. When she reined him back in, he was all apologies. Then even when she said I love you in a text and he missed that one, 2 texts later he went back and said love you too, that's for the text 2 above that I forgot to say love you. Told her every day she was smoking hot, he's the luckiest man. That guy picks out her dresses, right? Picks her mother up, picks her sister up, calls his brother-in-law to check that he's not smoking or drinking. He gets his mother-in-law phones. He gets his sister-in-law phones. He figures out all this stuff. She was definitely going to him for financial advice. So while he was scatterbrained and everything else, he was very good at financial things. So she looked to him for the banking, for, which timeshare is the best one to buy. What should we do here? Should we do this? Should we refinance that? And then he kills her. Exactly, Sassy. Exactly. Somebody might look at them from afar and say, wow, Mark is extremely attentive, Teresa. He's coming by bringing your dress. He's bringing your lunch. He's, for all intents and purposes, he was the office manager, okay? He's doing this. He's shuttling the kids. He's doing all of this. Even when she gets upset at him, he doesn't even, snap. He was a kept man, right? But then he goes and does what he does. He seems a very needy guy. That he just doesn't fit. She let him do whatever he wanted. I don't get it. There's got to be something more. There has to be something more. It wasn't that he was pining over some girl he couldn't have. For crying out loud, he was, I think, sleeping with that other guy too. Right, but why leave that? He had it all. He had his kids that he wanted. She was working. He wanted this TV show. He was doing all this stuff for this TV show, which doesn't even make sense if he was planning on killing her, because even when he told Curtis, he was still making arrangements for this show. Why would he do that if she was going to be dead? I don't get it. There's so much I don't understand here. Something is whacked. I just want to talk to him a little bit. But Kathy, things were going great. She was getting her TV show. Sorry, what was all the cash they had in the house? I don't get it. Yes, money, but what was he going to do? I don't know. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Hi, Pat, Nella. Hi, Jeanette. Julie. Carolyn, it's simple. He was setting the groundwork. He was insanely jealous of her. I think he had way too much testosterone. Well, he was taking supplements. You couldn't talk to him. He puts me off my food. I need more food. He was jealous of her and wanted her gone. He played a role to make it more believable. Repetitive, like autistic almost. Somebody said, did somebody say today he had a, no. It's the reaction the sister had during her first interview. Right before he killed her, was she more mean in her text to him? No, I mean, they were in New York and they just had a romp right before he put her on the airplane. Being married to her made him feel important. He would not have that when she divorced him. Jealous, but maybe not in the way we think, not with men. No, but you know what? No, he was very jealous. Now, that's another thing to consider. He was very, very jealous of that other man, which was, I think, that doctor in California that she said she was just flirting with. Could it be he was so jealous of the other man because he was bi? He was at least bi, because it's definite, it looks like that he was with Curtis at least that one time, right? He put Wayne, had one Cheerio, okay? And when he brought another man into their fantasies, he brought Wayne in, right? She could do something simultaneously with Wayne and him. But when she brought somebody in, maybe he was jealous because he had feelings for men. I don't know. That man, or it just, okay, yeah, obviously was a competition with him. He lost his cookies in the text. You'd like to do a full cycle, yeah. He was ridiculous, so sappy, even after she would tell him to screw off. Right, yeah, I know. I think it was because it wasn't his idea, it was hers. Right, okay. It's really jealous. He had to control who was in the circle. Circle of trust. Yeah. Yeah, Sammy, with at least with Wayne one time. In that journaling, he has one encounter. I truly think, guys, that they did not redact it. I think that they missed it. I think they missed it. They redacted a bunch of stuff. And I think they missed it because it didn't start out with Wayne. Okay? It didn't look like it started out, and then Wayne was inserted somewhere in the middle, and it said something like Wayne O times 1, something like that. So I don't know. I think it was missed because I think there's definitely was more times, or he stopped putting it down with Wayne. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Jenna. See, if she controls the circle, he can pick the men. That is less intimidating. Maybe not as good looking or have as good physique or be as accomplished, because I think it was that doctor out in California. Diana, it's very confusing, so he wanted everything without her, maybe. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, and I saw, did you see the full clip of his confession? He's crying and he's saying that he's going to fight this with everything. He is wrongfully accused, convicted. He didn't do this. He can't have any remorse because you can't have remorse for something you didn't do. He loved his wife. He loved his girls. What else? He said something else that was weird. What was this? The couple that worked for them, Frank and Sandy, said he was screwing up the expenses. He was free to act out sexually. Don't see him as jealous. Yeah, I know, sorry, but apparently there's text there that he's on her about the other man. And he's saying, you think that's flirting? Do you think that's flirting when you've taken it to a level that I think, I don't know what she was doing, but it was like more than he wanted. And it was, I think he felt she was falling for that doctor. If someone were to ask me why Mark Sievers wanted Teresa dead, my honest answer would be, I don't know. Even the judge said, he said it was not for money. Okay? The judge says he thinks the motive was the custody of the girls, which I don't get because he had those girls all the time. I haven't been following. Yes, he was convicted and he was given the death penalty. Insanely jealous control freak. He was so pathetic. But there's also something else, like in his writing, he's not like most guys don't text the way he did. I'm not even saying the volume of text, but the way he texted. Like she would say, you left your shake at home, Mark. And instead of saying, yeah, I did, oops, sorry, oh, I can't believe it, he would text back stuff like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Could you put it in the refrigerator for me? I promise I'll drink it tonight. I mean, this is a text coming in. He put so much information in there, and he over-explained everything. Okay, like she didn't have to, like most guys, you normally have to pull it out of them, right? Or something. Mark was just exploding with everything. The reason I forgot it was because the girls were running late and then this happened and then I went to the kitchen and then I went, and this is a text. And she would get so fed up with him and she'd be like, that's enough, Mark. That's enough texting, Mark. Just so many things about him are just so weird that he handled all the birthday card. I mean, like, some stuff with him is weird, really weird. She would get onto him when he was upset, and then he would back down. Right? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like if he got short in one text with her, texting like a woman, he would be right. Well, I don't want to be sexist, but yeah, Owen, really, it seems like the roles were kind of reversed there in every way. I mean, even the texting way. Yeah, liars. Yeah, you're right. But even stuff he didn't have to lie about. Like he didn't really have to lie, Kathy. She never even questioned him. Yeah. Hey, J Bowles. Why would he care? He was planning on murdering her, probably close, so its plans could come to fruition. He was super fake. I still think the motive was money. He was tired of being Mr. Mom. He wanted to be free of, but sorry, he was benefiting from that testosterone. What was he? That was another thing. What would he do without his testosterone? She has to write the prescription. That's not stuff is not over the counter. And I'm sure he was taking like the maximum allotment of the testosterone. The bills weren't getting paid because he was squirreling away money meant for bills. They had lots of cash in that house. He liked the role. He didn't want to lose his lifestyle. Why did he need testosterone? I don't know. He sure looked terrible. He has a beard now, and he's starting to germinate hair on the back of his head. I don't know if they were injections or what, Stephanie, but he was taking testosterone supplements, yes. I think he took too much estrogen. But like, even like stuff with the kids. Do you remember he said stuff with the kids and he's like, let me see if we should discuss this tonight. And isn't there a book for that? And can't we find this book? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know any guys like that. Just so the way he was. It's usually the other way around. Oh, testosterone does a lot for people. But a doctor has to prescribe it to you. It's not like, you know, like something you get GNC or something. A doctor has to prescribe that based on your blood work. You can be like the fountain of youth for men. Seriously, I'm not joking around. Joe Rogan, my son told me, is on it. Go listen to Joe Rogan and see what he says about testosterone. Germinate hairs in his head, yeah. Yeah, I do, VA girl. I think we could take that as a fact because we know there's at least one time with Curtis. Maybe at one point, but not then. Hey, Evelyn. It was like he was the woman. Right, absolutely, Susan. Also, if they take HGH, correct. Yeah, right. Even if he was in love with Wayne. Wayne got married again. Wayne got married again. So apparently everybody was okay with the flings on the side. I don't think he would have done it for that. I think she was fine with him. Why did he have that condo out in Missouri? Why did he have that condo there? We haven't seen that mentioned in the text. Why did he have that condo? All of Joe Rogan. Would you say, Stephanie? Your husband watches all this all his pod. Yeah, my son told me go watch it if you want to know what testosterone does. I thought bald men had high levels of testosterone. Well, Sandra, if that's the case, then that's true. We think he had high levels of testosterone. He was taking supplements. I know someone who is way over the top with his wife, but behind her back, he's a drug addict. They've been married since 1974. That's like my contractor, the old one I had. When they were here, he and his wife got tattoos, right? And I mean huge, huge tattoos on their arms, okay? And he was so proud to show me, okay? They were like the infinity symbol, and they went from like the wrist to the elbow. And I wonder if I have a picture of them. Well, I do somewhere probably. It said, like, his said her one, and hers said his only. And he goes like this. Oh, and so for holding hands, when they held hands and you saw them from the back, it like made the symbol. It's hard to explain. And he was going into such great detail telling me this, right? He also told me, like, he'd have like knockdown, drag out fights with her in the driveway because she needed more money. I think they both had a problem with some kind of something, just by things that happened here. She was a nurse making very good money, but drove like all the way out here one night to pick up $250 in cash. You got to say, what the heck? Trying to think. So they went nuts about this tattoo, and I'm thinking, like, he's talking to me like when they're holding hands, and I'm picturing them like strolling along on a beach holding hands. What a love story, right? And then now they're gone. Done. Now they've got these huge tattoos. Sometimes it's always the people that are doing that kind of stuff. It was the infinity symbol, I think it was, at Sierra. Whatever it was, it connected when they held hands. He showed me. They put it on their Instagram. Your husband has a sleeve of tattoos. I like them. They're in Japanese. Very pretty. Why would Wayne and Jimmy kill her? Jimmy killed her for the money, I think. Okay, 100%. 10,000 was a lot for him. Wayne, we don't even know what happened to that other, the Bolin brother that's missing. That's very suspicious. Now, my point wasn't about tattoos. My point is that they went and got these tattoos to show how much they love each other. And they're not even together anymore. Never get a tattoo like that. Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, is it really, Susan? Oh, I don't know. So I'm just wondering, we haven't gotten to his texts with Wayne. Remember the ones where they brought them in court? We have to find those where he was calling Wayne baby. We have to find those. I'm going to see what I can find right now. Yeah, they're definitely, well, they slept together at least once, via a girl that we found. That's true, Julie. But every time this is like a magic thing. Like whenever you look in it, you find something else you didn't know. Okay, so when we last left them, we had finished where they were talking about Frank and Sandy. And this was 7/31/2013. And Teresa had said last, she's an idiot. So did you tell Frank? And that was batch, let me just see which. So if we look, I don't know, if we can look at this batch, let me see. This should start. No, what did I, no, this is 2014. Who is this to? This is, trying to see if we can find any from Wayne. Nancy, does anybody? It's him and Nancy. Mark and Amy and Josh. I think we've been all over these. Karen. Yeah. And meanwhile, don't forget, he was texting like a bunch of other people because he kept, remember, putting those sexy, oh, sorry, wrong person. I meant to text that to Teresa. Here's more. See, this is why I think we missed those other texts of Teresa, because they're like just in all the wrong places. Mark and Teresa, but I think we've gone through those. So these are 20. Just want to find Wayne's. Hold on a minute. So I think this is where we were. Oh, I know we're in Newnan Academy. There's more stuff. He sent videos. Surgery. So there's big parts that, and you don't know whether they're taking them out because it's a patient, or they're taking them out because it's something about Curtis. But they showed, I want to at least get to the text they showed in court with Curtis. Hold on one second, let me see if I can find it. Vice Virginia. Okay, if I look over here. You know, in news reports back when he was arrested and stuff, this says text messages dating back 2 years before Dr. Teresa Sievers was found slain in her Bonita Springs home show a growing frustration between her and her husband, Mark Sievers. The messages reveal Mark Sievers as a doting husband who initiated sexually explicit conversations with Teresa. They include hundreds of pages of text exchanged between the couple during the 2-year period leading up to Teresa's death. Also included in the 1,000-page document Mark Sievers' calendar, where he painstakingly jotted down sexual encounters he had with his wife, revealing that she fantasized about his best friend, Curtis Wainwright, who has been accused of carrying out the killing with a second man, Jimmy Rogers. Nothing in the text messages indicate Mark Sievers was planning his wife's demise. He and Rogers were indicted on first-degree murder charges by the Lee County Grand Jury. Investigators say the $4.43 million in life insurance policies Mark Sievers had for his wife were the motivation for the June 2015 killing. The text messages indicate the couple was living paycheck to paycheck, with Teresa Sievers, the sole breadwinner, often asking Mark to deposit her paycheck in the bank account. On one occasion, she was down to her last $13. We read that, but that was in that account. Mark Sievers was the office manager at his wife's holistic healing practice. Okay, we know that. The majority of the text messages originate from Mark Sievers, often at his wife's exasperation. He called her sexy baby and mommy. He often told her he loved her. Teresa Sievers referred to him as daddy. Teresa Sievers told her husband he needed another hot mama. She encouraged him to go out on his own and find someone else. Mark Sievers said he needed to get used to the idea of being with someone else. I love you, honey, with all my being, Mark Sievers said in April. That's where we were, 2013. He also sent more sexually charged comments being between mundane day-to-day text messages about grocery lists and future plans for their 2 daughters, aged 9 and 11. In June of 2013, Teresa Sievers lost her temper because Mark Sievers texted her too often. I'm expletive trying to get ready, Teresa Sievers said to her husband. His response is, I did not require a response. This is what I mean. This is what he responds. This was an informational text excuse, as if your phone's not sleeping anyway. Have a nice, and this is where he said, expletive day. Soon after that, the couple shared a tender moment. Teresa Sievers had a crisis in confidence and confided in her husband that she wasn't where she wanted to be in life. Mark, who scheduled her speaking engagements, tried to console her. She said, I'm tired of hoping. He said, I'm here beside you for what it's worth. Their sexual appetite for one another, according to text messages, began to waver, with sexually explicit exchanges diminishing in the months leading to her death. The tone of Mark's text messages began to change. He began to voice his anger towards his wife when she did not respond. In February of 2015, Mark Sievers asked his wife what she was wearing, which was met with silence. Why are you not even responding at all? He asked her. She told him her phone was acting up. I'm sorry, you're right. I'm blaming you for something that you had nothing to do with. I wish I had not taken my frustration out on you. It's like the guy in the toy store with the potato head thing I told you about. Okay, Teresa responded, thank you for that, because I was really trying to remain calm, and when you blame me, it set me off. A day later, the same interaction occurred between the couple. Mark Sievers asked Teresa Sievers for an afternoon rendezvous. I want to take care of you, he said. She didn't write back. I guess your lack of response is an answer in and of itself, he said. Mark, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of doing things, she responded. Investigators say Wright and Rogers drove to Bonita Springs. Okay, Wright and Mark Sievers are childhood friends. He took a 25-year plea deal in exchange for information on Mark Sievers and his involvement. The two are similar in appearance. In 2014, Mark Sievers wrote in his calendar about how his wife of more than 10 years told him she fantasized about having sex with both him and his friend Wright. Wayne, I, and her being blindfolded and having to tell us apart, he jotted down. As time progressed, the fantasies became more explicit in nature, and on one occasion, Mark wrote about Wright being in town to work on the computer network in the office. Teresa told him Wright had whispered in her ear, "Maybe next time," she laughed. 20 days before she was bludgeoned to death, Mark Sievers told Teresa he was proud of her. He reminded her she parked her car in front of her office building. In her response, Teresa said she was tired of this kind of helicoptering that makes me crazy, and it shows that you're more focused on me than you. He apologized to her. The two didn't text message much during the days leading up to her death. They were both in New York for a family celebration. On the morning of June 28th, Mark Sievers sent a message saying good morning and that he loved her. He dropped her at the airport that day so she could board a flight back to Fort Myers. The two spoke on the phone. As Mark Sievers drove home from the airport, they hung up and he accidentally called her via FaceTime. "I'm not FaceTiming in the airport," Teresa texted. She said she assumed it was a mistake. At 5:36 p.m. he responded with yes. That was their last correspondence, and she was killed 5 hours later. So they don't mention the, I don't know if it had been released at that time. Let me see here. Oh wait, hold on, this might be it. Let's see if these are them. Okay, so back then they said new documents reveal Mark Sievers' lifestyle. Let's see. A June 8th text from Mark Sievers said, "Happy anniversary, baby," but it generated a reply that said, "I don't really think of it as an anniversary, but thanks." Mark Sievers used detailed language to describe the couple's sex lives and fantasies in a series of explicit calendar entries. Okay, but we found a familiar name, see, within the entries. Wayne, possibly Curtis Wainwright, was mentioned in the calendar. On May 31st, 2014, Mark wrote, "Towards the end, she mentioned Wayne." We know that, but why don't they talk about the one? Let me see. Maybe that one was, I don't know why they wouldn't talk about that one. Let me see something else. Sievers, 49, wrote about losing trust in his wife over a perceived relationship, her seeming ambivalence towards him, his unmet desire for regular sex and intimacy. Oh my gosh. And his feeling like a leech because she was the family's sole breadwinner. She said sometimes, most of the time, she does not feel we're going to make it, Sievers wrote on June 5th, 2015. About his wife, Dr. Teresa Sievers, less than a month before she was found bludgeoned to death in the couple's Bonita Springs home. The journal entries were included along with Mark Sievers' phone records. Okay, so we have those. Okay, we have to get to those. The documents give the most intimate look to date on the mind of the man that they say orchestrated the killing of his wife with his childhood friend Curtis Wainwright, 48, from Missouri. Authorities have accused a third man, Jimmy Ray. The journal entries show Mark was frustrated, even depressed over the state of his marriage. But there were also indicators that by late June, things were improving between Sievers and his wife. Teresa and I are in a good place. She has been kissing me unsolicited for the last couple of days, he wrote, just days before the killing. The longest journal entry was on March 17th. Sievers started by journaling by noting that these are my personal thoughts and feelings at the time I enter them. If you are reading this, please stop. In the entry, Sievers wrote about losing trust in his wife, whom he accused of almost cheating on him. He previously wrote about his wife's indiscretion and him feeling such core betrayal in an instant message to her on December 2013. He said, "It could happen again, regardless of what she states." Sievers wrote in the March 2015 entry, "It's a reality." He wrote about conversations they'd had about what he wants in his life, including possibly attending law school. His wife, he wrote, felt like he only received enjoyment with her when it was all wrapped up in her, and that she thinks I only think about sex. Really, Mark? A lot of people think that's true. He admitted he wanted sex daily, but didn't get it that often. But more than that, he wrote, "I want intimacy." Not getting it, though. In earlier text messages, Sievers regularly expressed his affection for his wife with an almost obsessive preoccupation with their sex life. He used his digital calendar to document their sexual encounters. Detectives previously say the Sievers had numerous affairs, both together and outside their marriage, and Mark Sievers regularly exchanged lusty text messages with other women. Sievers wrote in his March journal that he spends very little time with his wife, and what time they do spend together, it's annoying to say the very least. He felt rejected, and on his own he wrote, "It would be nice to share a small level of intimacy with whom I've considered the love of my life," he wrote. "Maybe, just maybe, our relationship is already over." Teresa Sievers did not want a divorce, he wrote, but if they did separate, he expected to receive custody of their 2 young daughters. While Mark Sievers saw himself as the girl's primary caregiver, he wrote that his wife looked at him as a sitter for her girls. "If worse comes to worse and we do not stay together, she will have visitation and I custody," he wrote. In a journal entry on April 27, 2015, Mark Sievers wrote about a conversation he had with his wife. She felt stressed, overwhelmed, and trapped, and expressed concern about him not bringing in an income. "I'm not very productive with my day," he wrote. "I had not really thought of myself as leeching off Teresa until tonight." On a couple of occasions, Sievers worried about his weight and attractiveness. By early June, he wrote, he was growing less attracted to his wife as well. "She said she knows she is attractive to me, even though we're going through this while for her, she loses that physical attraction to me," he wrote in the June 5, 2015 entry, to which I honestly replied too quickly. "She is losing her physical appeal to me as well. She appreciated my honesty, but did not like it." Teresa Sievers was killed in her home. Okay, investigators. Wow, I just saw a picture. This is so crazy. I thought this was Mark. That can't be. This is crazy. Hold on, I'm going to show this to you. I thought that was Mark with his new look. That's Curtis. When it was smaller, I thought it was freaking Mark. Wow, and Mark. See, Mark's. Hold on. Let me show you. This is for those that, I don't know if anybody didn't see it, but. They had him walking in. He looks so old. I guess he's not having his testosterone anymore in his hair. He looks so different, doesn't he? Crap. He looks different in the pictures than he looked in the video that day. Wait a minute. Is this from that day? Wait a minute. This is from, hold on. This is from, let me see. This is not from that day. But he has the exact same look as that day. He's growing the same hair back. He doesn't have that much hair. Wow. So that was before. What the hell? This is so weird. He must have a jail look, and the other one must have been a trial look, and now he's back to the prison look. But this is what he's trying to do again. I wonder what he had when he was with Teresa. If he had it, well, he had a completely bald head. No, now, hold on a minute. Now I'm getting really confused. This is him because I know that bailiff. This was him just recently. Where he's got the beard and he's germinating the hair there. Don't you think so? I don't know. These pictures are so weird. How could somebody be... Pretty sure that's... I remember this guy. This one right here. But why are they not? I'm just wondering why no one here is mentioning. Hold on, maybe that. Hold on. Friend of Wright's who met Sievers at Wright's wedding said they almost look exactly alike. He could pass as his brother. The similarity was mentioned in a bizarre story. Angela Wright, Curtis's wife, told investigators. Detectives asked Angela if she ever had sex with Mark. She replied, "Not that I know of. I was pretty drunk the night before my wedding. I don't remember bits and pieces, but seriously, not that I know of. But Mark and my husband look an awful lot alike, so..." Let me try this another way. I don't know why I can't. Okay, wait a second. Here's a little more. She really enjoyed having, okay. On May 31st, 2014, Mark wrote on the calendar, towards the end, she mentioned Wayne. She really enjoyed having door open when he was in town. As years progressed, the text became darker. Teresa became short with her husband, even angry with him. On June 13, 2015, Teresa sends the text, "This is expletive that you left and did not tell me. I should leave you here without a ride home." Just weeks later, her body was found. One text from his sender proved he or she knew nothing of Mark's alleged plan. The text read, "Don't blame yourself." Looking through texts, Mark also became close with another woman. It's obvious by the nature of their messages that their relationship was sexual. At one point, Mark even said he loved her. The last time Mark told Teresa he loved her was in a text about 2 months before she was murdered. Mark, as well as Jimmy Rogers, both management. Hold on. I don't know why they're not mentioning that. Oh boy, for the people that are in Pennsylvania, Walmart is infested with bed bugs. Let me just see the date on this, please. This is recent. We've got to see what this is about, because if it's the one near me, I'm going to freak out. Oh, good. Let me see. Is anybody, let me see, let me go back to the, is anybody in, near Edinburgh, Pennsylvania? Do you shop at that Walmart? Anybody? Anyone? Great, Kristen said. Well, here's the news. It says, this is brand new. Brand new. What's today? What's today's date? The 6th? Is that the 6th? This is from the 5th. In the evening at 6 o'clock last night. It says, a Walmart in Pennsylvania is facing a bed bug infestation after someone released the parasitic insects in a men's changing room, state police said. A manager at the store in Edinburgh found a closed pill bottle with live bugs crawling inside and reported it to authorities. Thursday, police said. The bottle was found inside a boy's jacket, which was for sale. We take this seriously and are looking into this. We are fully cooperating with law enforcement or other investigating agency. On Friday, health safety company Ecolab confirmed that the insects were bed bugs. An Ecolab employee also reported seeing bed bugs crawling around the men's changing rooms the same day. A Walmart employee later found a second closed pill bottle containing dead bugs in the men's department, police said. Edinburgh is the northwest corner of the state, near Erie. State police are investigating the matter and are looking for the person or people responsible. Bed bugs are small, flat, parasitic insects, and they survive off feeding off the blood of people and animals as they sleep, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They do not spread disease, but can leave itchy bite marks, which may lead to an allergic reaction to some people. While extremely small, bed bugs can live for months without feeding. Bedbug infestations are also very expensive to fight. Professional extermination of bedbugs typically costs between $200 to $1,500 per room and often fails. Gross. Really gross. So, anybody near that one? Lanky, what's going on? We need to work together. What are we talking about, Lanky? What's Lanky talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, you're Shine, Florida. The thing between him and Wayne, why didn't Teresa go to Wayne's wedding? Yeah, that I don't understand either, but she probably had a lot of work. Mark had a good life, I just don't get it. Hey Bella, in my opinion, anyone who is consistently up someone else's butt, pandering to them, and passively aggressively being sickly sweet is insecure and fake. It screams resentment. Janelle Keene. No, sadly. What's Oh. No. Where would someone get all those bed bugs? I don't know. Could it be that Wayne planned to look like Mark, knowing that he was hired? No, because he looked like that at the wedding. They looked exactly like, and Mark hadn't even asked him yet. Edinburgh, near Erie. Is anybody near that Walmart? Anybody here? If you have, and there's probably going to be some people like listening later and they're like, oh my gosh, I was just there. I bought couch pillows and I put them right on the couch. Stephanie? Oh, did you check your bed, Stephanie? Why? Is Stephanie, you're near that Walmart? Stephanie, are you near that Walmart? Why? What's up with Sunny Bunny, Janelle? She's not in all the time. She's in sporadically. Why? What happened? Who is so sick to do such a thing? That is demented. Is anybody here near that Walmart? There's 627 people here. Anyone near that Walmart that I just said? Oh, he passed away from the cancer. Oh, I've been praying for him. That's so sad. Condolences to him. That's such a shame. I doubt she would be here if that happened, you know. I think she's probably got a lot more to be doing right now. You're not near the store? Nobody yet. Okay. Where is it? Kristen, where is it? Where is that in relation to where is that around Hershey? Where is that? I'm really bad, you know, with where it is. Where did you hear this, Janelle? You're kind of happy they were planted versus coming from a central supply warehouse. Oh my gosh. You're not sure where it is, you have to Google it yourself? Oh. You basically go to grocery stores and that's it? Oh, I'm sorry, Tabs, that's horrible. Sorry about that. You're itchy now? Pennsylvania, Edinburgh, they said. Shop online. By the Ohio border? Okay, but that way, okay. Why do I think something like Edinburgh bird in the hand? I don't know why I'm getting those two. Edinburgh bird in the hand. Wait a minute, Janelle. Do you know he passed, or you're just assuming? Because she said 24 hours. Please tell me that you're not just assuming. It's between Buffalo and Cleveland? Back and yay, wash was done. Put in the dryer and I cannot worry, I will Ford. Oh, forget. It's like Ford. Edinburgh. Oh, Edinburgh. Oh, you thought you had that trivia in? Okay. Thanks, Lanky. Can you do my next? Thanks. You can actually buy bed bugs online, sadly. You can even send them to people, which is beyond crazy. There you go. Scooter's got the chorus line of jellies coming in. Here come the jellies. Scooter. So, well, that's good. I'd like to see the person that, like, probably the person that was there probably ran out of the chat screaming, throwing everything they just bought, like, outside the door. Bella, I'm not even sure he's passed. From what I'm hearing, she asked for prayers. I agree. I agree. Rosanna Arquette was at the Golden Globes. Now she's going to be at the Harvey Weinstein. Janelle, because the problem is you came in here and announced he passed, and you don't know that to be true. Someone can say someone has 24 hours to live. They could rally. There could be a miracle. There could be a lot of things. To just come in and say that he's passed is not right. So are bed bugs shipped from Mattress Maker? I don't know. You asked if anybody heard from her. And I said to you, she doesn't come in all the time. She comes in at why? And then you said what you said. I'm lost, Janelle. I don't understand it. If you don't know for certain that someone's passed, you shouldn't say that and just ask for prayers. My mom was given not even a week and she's still alive by some miracle. Yeah, my uncle was given last rites, and my aunt was picking out a casket. Kathy, you don't think what? That who said what? Yeah, go up in the chat. close it down. She asked for prayers. Okay, that was that. And then I know I find where's the one that says where is Sunny Bunny? There's for Sunny Bunny. Beautiful. When did this happen? Hold on. I'm trying to find where you said where is Sunny Bunny because it was right. I think it's up in the chat one because I saw you say where is Sunny Bunny. I said why did something happen? And I'm sure I read her. You right here. Her nephew passed. Right here. I know I'm not imagining things. It's up at where's timestamps? How do I get timestamps? 3:01 a.m. .301. Oh, now Janelle's upset again because I said that you shouldn't say. Have I watched you? Yes, I have, Sammy. The white noise? What white noise? Okay, Janelle. There's loud white noise today? Today in here, there's loud white noise? It is noisy. My background noise is noisy? That I hear when you're on. Maybe it's, hold on a minute. Static white noise, you hear it? Static white noise. How about now? Is it better now? Now it's no, it's not better now. There's no more fan. I shut it all off. Yeah, but it's gone now. Okay. It's not gone now. We have problems because that's the only thing that was on. Okay, much better. It's okay. We don't care if your feet freeze. No, it's hot in here anyway. That work noise, it's gone. We all think it's something different. Is it snowing there? It was snowing earlier. I don't... Oh, wait a minute. There is snow. There's like... I don't know. There's like a half an inch on the deck I see over there. You can freeze now. No, it is actually very hot in here. There's no reason I need that. It's very hot in here. Jimmy's got the heat on, probably like 95. Oh, I'm not, it's not cold. I mean, we've got heat in the house. I sometimes like extra feet on my feet. So I have a little tiny little thing that goes in my feet. But I thought it was just me. You've had a chill for 6 days, Olivia? All right, so I don't know what time is it. I don't even know what time it is anymore. Oh, it's not even 3:33 yet. Okay, so, well, Sunny Bunny, we're praying for your nephew and hope there's some miracle for him. And it's got to be a very hard time for you, so praying for you and your family and, of course, your nephew. No, we haven't done the readings yet. We were looking at, I was trying to see if I could find exactly where the ones are that we wanted. Love the bed bug story. I have a feeling that bugs are on your face. Any more? Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go get the taxes. The taxes. All right. I was trying to see his, let me see. I see something. They don't like anything, so we want to go to, what are you talking about? What does that say? I was back downstairs outside the hotel. I was smoking here and came back upstairs. I'm sleeping. I just found several hours later I was laying down. Good night. All that, yeah, we read all that one. She was pissed about that. So let me go to the next. I know we did these. This was his journal. What was this? Let me see what's in this one. Okay, now I have to go, since we don't have the white noise, I have to go shut that TV. Because now all I can hear is the TV, and it's driving me up a tree. Now it's so quiet in here. I just feel like it's crazy quiet in here. Okay. Okay, back. All right. Now where was I? Trying to look through these files for a second. This PDF video. Let's try this one. Contacts, emails and text exchanges, messages. Let's see what this one's like. So just so you see what you know, this stuff is like. Let me see if you can see this stuff. Now I know we've been through Eddie and Susan. Happy Mother's Day. Peggy. It's 2013. Patty and Randy. I do listen to my girls. I don't back them up. Who will? We just had a hard time finding a tutor who's actually going to commit and follow through. The last tutor didn't show up, so she's fired. I interviewed my third two this morning with Teresa, and we both like, so maybe this will work. Yeah, I remember reading that. Brittany Martinez's mom. Oh, yeah, we read that. Paige Williams. So miss you too. Could use you around with the nasty divorce in progress. Sigh. I wish I could be there. However, I'm a phone call away. I didn't know. Then something's redacted here. Wow, if you want a shoulder, I'm here. Are you and the boys okay? Pretty sure we read this. Trying very hard to buy the house for the boys. What's this one? Okay, now we're at, look, now I come, then basically 9 o'clock at night on Thursday. Friday I'm open. Friday night I'll be with Wayne and a couple of guys. The wedding is Saturday afternoon. The reception is Sunday morning. I leave at 9. Wish you lived here. I miss you. Christy. Renee and Astrid. Tutor. So we've Ray Navarro, we've been through that all. Jesse. This is the guy that was with her TV show, right? So if we look over here, 622, great, talk to you later. Mark says, yes, doing interviews now. Call you later today. Can we do next week? I'm calling you back. That's weird. Okay. Kristen, where are you? Kristen. Playing a game with Josie. Oh, this is him and her mother. Right, she couldn't figure it out. Mark, I sent Teresa. I left some cream behind in the refrigerator. Yeah, we read this one. Mimi, she was asking him to send videos, right, of the girls' recitals. Me. I'll talk to Nancy. You want to get back? Lisa, Annie Lisa, that was her, that was the sister. There's not much there. And there's more here. Nurse told me Teresa's doing very well. That's when she was having the tummy tuck. Great, she's done. Thanks, honey pie. You're welcome, I love you too. And then I guess she got on, you look, Dill, you look awesome. Tell me if it's me. Teresa's want to call you from Mark's phone. You're literally less than 5 miles away. Dill. Actually, that's good because suddenly I have to piss like a racehorse. Anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Have a good night, everybody. I said hi and send my love. Hi, Annie. I just woke the Dr. Frank. I love you, Mama. What? Oh, then he says, oh, and see, this is when he goes back. Oh, okay, also, I just saw my prior text to you. I love you, Mama. It was supposed to have been said to T. Oops. Yeah, I figured, she says. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure he went through hers. Oh, here. Oh, what's this about? Let me see. Hi, honey. I hope you had a good weekend. This is her sister, Annie. Just sent you an invoice for $5.25. Please confirm you received the text and email. He says, got it. I saw it late last night. I asked Teresa to tell you this morning that I will send a check out today, smiley face. Then he says, this is like, sorry, Annie. I'm not trying to put the blame on Teresa. You text me. I should have replied this morning. So he's like overly apologetic all the time. Something to XO. Okay. Hi, Annie. I just want to take this moment to tell you how grateful I am that you're in our lives. We miss and love you. What brother-in-law is like this? Hi, Mark. Hope all is well. I just emailed the invoice. I owe you $90 for the December sell. Got it. I'm in the midst of setting up QuickBooks. Hi, honey. Sorry for the delay. I mailed your check this morning. This is an FYI. Meant hi, Annie, instead of hi, honey. She says, thanks, honey. Okay, so that's now who's this? He's with Lowell and Sally. Nothing much there. I don't know, they redacted whoever this is. I can't talk right now. I'm on the phone and will return your call. They redacted all of this. We don't even know who it is. But it looks like it's something. Lab slips. No problem. I wanted to make sure you should be all good to go. I'll pass. Yeah, it looks like it's patient related. Then this is Wendy Wright. But this is very, let me see. I don't think there was a lot here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy birthday, Wendy. I know your birthday. We read this one. I don't think there was a Merry Christmas. There was very little here. Mark, I saw your post on Facebook. I'm so sorry. I have no words. Please know I love you, and I'm sending my thoughts and prayers. That was after she died. Okay. This is all that chef and all the food. We've gone through all these. And this is Michelle Petritis. We've gone through all that. Check in the mail. At least it was an excuse. Oh, we missed the 333. 3 minutes late. 2 minutes late. Okay. Still Michelle Petritis. You see how much? But we've gone through all of Michelle. I've already read all of Michelle Petritis. And Lori Quinn, we read that. She was the other cook. And the one he told, get the glass water bottles, all that stuff. Then this is Margaret. Now this is the one he was having. This is Margaret. Is there a song by Debbie Boone, You Light Up My Life? Thank you, but we are just being friends. We will do whatever we can. I just love it when you feel good. This is when he said that Teresa brought up Margaret again. Margaret is someone he was, intimately involved with. You truly are a spectacular woman. We're very proud to call you friend. We love you. I feel the same. I feel loved by you both. I'm grateful. Our lives were meant to cross. Good morning. Darling, you and Vaughn, okay. This is Annie again, and you look like you're 25. This is... I always thought you looked good before, but this blows it away. Just goes to YouTube. Who's this? This is Dawn. I think that's sister-in-law. Wayne, Jenny, that's someone else. Love my birthday greetings from the little angels. Why is this redacted? Out of surgery and recovery. But it's Jenny. Jenny, I wish. I have no idea about insurance coverages. We don't even take insurance in the office. Mark, are you okay? Mark, saw your house on the news. Are you okay? Mark, please answer. You have 2 worried mothers. Then he said something that they redacted. Would like to hug you tonight. Would it be okay to stop by for a few minutes? And they redacted his stuff here. And this is the tutor. This is work-related redaction. Did you just hear that? I just heard a beep. Sorry to hear the news. Let us know. It's redacted. We heard some bad news, please. I just called you by accident. Poland ships. I don't know. That doesn't seem like... What the hell is he doing here? Who the heck is he talking to? Shemaya? Who that is? Oh, he's entering contacts over here. Hello, Mark. Guess where I am? Branson, great. Give Bella my love. Mark, are you saying that someone is like... Oops. My texting's not working right. Mark, remember you said you called Margaret? She was supposed to show up. I have no idea what you're talking about. How are you doing? Call Menset for life insurance. What? Or Alan? Who is this? So you text me, can't talk right now. Go to highway. Where are you? Mark, you called. How are you? I'm on my way home from the office. Mark, how did Carmi do with her audition? I don't know who this is. When are you available? We are in St. Louis, Missouri. What if I drive back early from Branson, or will you be busy late on Friday? This is coming up to Curtis's wedding. Are you home yet? Good morning, Mark. Are you in Fenton? Think I'll stop in, say hello to Nando's mom. Then you. Then Mall Bell's gifts. Don't know about the car. Think I'll drive to Branson. Call when you're up. Your favorite sister. Oh, this is his sister. Okay, now, I'm not your favorite sister anymore. Mom says fix Manch repair. What? Acura. This is the one that has a really bad mental problem or something, right? Well, should not have left. OCD is bad. Oh, this is the one, right? That has the really bad OCD. Had a nice time with Paige. Tell her hello. How old are kids? Sorry to be a pest. Tell Wayne congratulations. What time is his wedding tomorrow? 1 p.m. Mark, I was thinking that fake red stone and pearl ring. Those are Bell's favorite jewels. Can I buy them from you? Tell Wayne Mazel Tov. I'm not a very good Jew. Talk to you soon. Okay, Mark, guess you're busy. Was Bart wanting me out there? And no, should I check into Holy Hills? I do want to wake up. Wow, was falling asleep. Oh yeah, I forgot about the red stone and double pearl. Was I supposed to call you? She's really messed up, but that's what they said. Please send a photo of you and Wayne. And wow, I'm glad I got to see you well, still falling asleep. Love you, Jamie. I'm in Florida. Mark, okay, they'd redacted that. I would have really gone. Are you really in? It was great seeing you, your remembered favorite sister. He just says in Florida. Mark, may I have the number of the money rental? I keep trying to look it up, but it won't work. Thanks, it was great seeing you. Mark, did I know anyone on the planet I would have loved to have gone? I'll give you my bank account number. Love, your favorite S. Oh yeah, Mark, did you leave Bella Redstone, or did it return to Florida with you? And oh, about pearls on BIOS. You have 3 females. You probably took she can't even type here. Both with you, or are they here? In Florida, he says they are not real. Then a happy Mother's Day, darling. Mark just saw my text to Bart. He always says someone is stalking me. You're right, it looks crazy. I give up. See you, your favorite alive sister. Oh, she's really... Mark, so are you saying a dealership, not car? Ma times with Ray? What the heck? She's really flipping out here. Or enterprise used, only new? Mark, you are just trying to get me dressed and out the door. So sorry, crabby now. If I have a driver, I better be rich, still need to drive myself. So you're saying not Acura, go with Jeep. Still pray, Mary is continually getting better. Just because OCD is winning does not mean I shouldn't be able to drive. Now I'm afraid to drive at night. Should have kept going. Money tree. Loved. This isn't the one that died of the kidney disease that was the doctor. Right? Is anybody following this? Okay. It's okay to meet Ray. He doesn't even answer her. This is leading right up to Teresa's death. My life insurance to a trust. If I don't, he won't take me to Branson. If I don't get to Branson to see Bell, can't have P. Bran live there part-time and none say you love. This is crazy. And I'm grateful Nando even speaks to me, let alone, I think she means to say intimacy here. So you bring up debt to me. What are you trying to say? Oh, if Josie had been a boy, would you have named her John, Joe, George, or Gary? What the? And what Nando has given to me is worth so much more than money, 100 million. Money you can, great. Friendship, loyalty, family, priceless. Although I haven't figured out the part where I create money. Why did you bring up the house I rented in Branson? Why do you think Ray backs out of driving me to Branson? Is there something you want to say? Say it. And he finally answers something. I asked about your accommodations in Branson to see if there was an option. There would not be financial hardship for you. There is no hidden message. I do not have any information that you don't have. I just don't trust Ray. I know he helps you out a lot, and for that I'm grateful. Favorite something brother. Did you call my daughter today? And if yes, she returned your call. Left a message. Tried to leave a message, but mailbox full. Just missed her call. She says, just got your message. Avis is with Nando. Or he's with Enterprise. Don't know, I called you. Must have hit redial. Have a great day. Thanks. She says, well, I feel helpless, terrible about Mary. And I know Nando is devastated, as they are all. But if you are anyway implying this is my fault, you are crazier than me. I love you, brother, but I am not responsible for the way the world is. I have tremendous guilt about not dealing with Bell. What the heck? I have allowed that to keep me from doing what I would have naturally have done. Be with Nando and his family more. That's all I have to say about that. Talk to you soon. Love, your alive sister. What? Mark, as far as paying $1,900 a day, it does motivate me. I'm that much more overwhelmed. Accident, very evil, sadistic. They knew my OCD would get worse. It does not motivate me. When Mom talks about diners ordering more, is that good or bad? Because they must have gone way down. Or maybe ready to revalue. Is it? And then he says it is what it is, or maybe getting ready to value. It is what it is. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Mark, are you coming to St. Louis again? This is the day she died. Not sure when. We have talked about a road trip sometime over the summer, but we do not know for certain. To my brother, I am praying, thinking of you. All my love, your sister Jamie. Mark, I love you. Tell the girls Aunt Jamie loves them. Scott should be there soon today. That's the brother. Me tomorrow. Donna sends her love. The Webbers. Wow, what is that about? Isn't that crazy? That's his sister. That's his sister, the one that that one girl that was giving that interview said it was all messed up and she missed all these planes. Is anybody following this? What's the 19? Is he promising her money? Maybe he promised her some money out of the insurance. Anyone? What happened, Jamie? Wait a minute. Your mother died, Jamie? Wait. I'm so lost. Did Jamie say, Jamie, did your mother pass away? She did well on morphine. Her abdomen. She's gone, Jamie? Oh my gosh. Didn't you just get the diagnosis? Wait a sec. Where's Jamie? I'm trying to read, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Yes, oh my gosh. Diagnosed Monday, gone today. Diagnosed Monday, gone today. Oh my gosh, Jamie. Well, so sorry. I mean, so fast. I know you thought you had a lot more time, right? Oh, I'm really sorry, Jamie. Prayers for your mom, for you, and it's terrible losing your mom, I know. I'm really sorry. Doug had a lot. Oh, Doug's saying that. Okay. really, Carol? Sorry to hear that. Prayers for your mom. Oh, sorry, Tina. Yeah, Tabs. Your kids have a half day tomorrow, Danielle? Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna put this. Bring this here. Bring this over here. Was she 93, Jamie? Well, Carolyn, what's that? Oh, that's just the what we were reading. That was the those texts. I don't understand about Mark's sister. She was really messed up, it seems. To me, that's a lot more than OCD, which she's talking about. She couldn't even text clearly. runs in that family. You think really messed up runs in that family. Maybe medication. Something. And then that other lady that gave the interview said that was the sister that the mother threw out of the house. And that it took her so long to get to the airport and she missed all these flights for Teresa's funeral. Oh, you lost power, Carla? But she's not the one that was the doctor. But she passed away too, right? After this. Or no, she's still alive? Jamie is still alive? I forget if he lost one sister or two. Oh, that's sweet, Jamie. Really? That's sweet. Is Carolyn on yet? Is Mommy on yet? Yeah, I just think it's weird that she was saying you're a live sister. Anybody find that weird? She went from favorite sister to you're a live sister. I understand the other sister was dead, but it just seems weird. And then the $1,900 a day thing. First we were talking about yeah, there's a big catfishing story. Actually, not a catfishing story, kind of a catfishing story, but then more into a con artist dating scam for older people on a site. Well, one of them was Match.com, and most of them were on that. What was that other one? What the heck was that other one? Not just my age. What is that name of that dating site? Ourtime.com. For a lot of like 40 and 50-year-old people on there. They got swindled. It's quite a long story, but somewhat like Dirty John. Carolyn, could you start a prayer group for those that can openly join, and we can keep that more? Carolyn, could you start a prayer group? Oh, in Slack? For those that can openly join, and we can keep that more special for people. I can start one in Slack, but I don't know what you mean. They can openly join. What do you mean by that? They can openly join. I can make one in Slack, but they're still going to... Okay, I can make one in Slack. I'll do it now. Hold on. But they're still going to have to send an email to be invited into Slack, though. If they're already in Slack, I can just throw them in there. Not throw them, you know what I mean. Create channel. There, I just threw. We'll put some people in there. I'm not sure how many. Hang on. Maybe she felt ostracized by her family, like they treated her that she wasn't alive. Why? Who was Ray in those texts? There's a Ray that they interviewed out there, and then there's another Ray that helped Teresa with her program. What groups are available? True crime chat, hunt a killer game, recipes, sewing with Sharon, bargain group, craft group, weight loss, did I say? Legal Eagles. What's the story about our time? It's in the front of the broadcast. You have to go back. It's a long story. They don't even allow her in the house because there was no space, yet she was the only one really sobbing in court. You sure that was Jamie and not the stepsister? Hi, Mrs. McJagger. Bye, Diana. Bella Mack, was she the one with the short hair? Got that right. Carol Ann's lives really kept Mom thinking about other things. So grateful for that. Oh, you're welcome. I don't know now. I'm so confused. I don't think Jamie was there. I'm serious. I don't think she's able to be there. Everyone, please join the recipe group. I thought the short-haired one that sobbed was the stepsister. Yeah, I think so. I almost think Jamie, did Jamie die? His stepsister. That's... Right, yep, at 0, sure. Absolutely. CC World Australia just checked one of the fundraisers is at $2 million. Firefighters have raised $600,000 in 24 hours. You thought I'm so confused. I'm going to see one thing, okay? Okay. Where was I? Do you have Instant Pot recipes? I just got one for Christmas. Oh, you finally got an Instant Pot? You haven't used it yet? Oh no. You should use it. You've been awake for 30 hours. I can go to bed now. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Jamie. You need some rest. All right, you're very welcome. Very, very sorry. And your mom's watching over you, I'm sure, and she wants you to get some rest. I know. She's probably like, Jamie, you got to get some rest, girl. But prayers and thoughts are with you, Jamie. Use it for tamales. What are you using for tamales? The Instant Pot tamales? What was I going to say? Something. Oh gosh, got the right time. Oh, good luck at the doctor, Evie. I will get to you. I promise. I'm slow, but I promise I will. I made this today. It's really hard to see. I have a video on it. It says Rambler for in the state of New York. I know it's hard to see there. What I wanted to do is get these in every state and have them put on in the Teespring, but I can't figure out how to save my image like this. It's not an image, because it's really involved. I'll figure it out. I know I'm really behind on getting merch stuff. I'm very, very behind. There is some stuff there, but just too much. I think I have to get someone to do it all. Thanks, Auntie Coco. Hi, Lisa. What's going on, Lisa? Did you ever finish your houses and stuff? I hope so. I believe it or not, I finished the house today. Thanks, Lisa. You've been fighting the flu? Hope you feel better. Did you ever get a cricket? You're in Melbourne and you have a thick blanket of sky. I know there's firefighters from California going out there today. Us Kiwis love you guys, even though we pretend not to sometimes. Thanks, Dreaming. Your whole family has been very sick? Oh, that's not good. You know, you would have to make it globally. Yes, yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to figure out, because I can do all of them in the Cricut Design Space. I just need to save something in Cricut Design Space as a JPEG or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. By country or continent. Yeah, I plan to do that too. Your son especially? Oh no. You all have the flu? That's you have worldwide. Yeah, I know. I do have it all. Yeah, I do have it, really. Good night, Tina. Then you can add your stress song. I can. Look, I got a rubber band now so the rice doesn't fall out. And I put a rubber band in the middle so it's like two stress balls together, and then you can twist it better. And then if you put the little top of the sock back, how does it look like a little, I can't get it to look like the little, oh, because it doesn't look like it anymore because I didn't pull it down as far as it was. You can do a globe in states. Well, I could do countries as well. Yeah, it's much better than a stress ball, I'm telling you, because it makes a crunchy like sound too. And you hear it? It makes a neat sound. It has a really good feel, better than a stress ball. I think it's probably really good for your hands because you really can crunch, you can really crunch on the rice. Your daughter is here? Okay, good night, Cece. Stay safe. You need a weighted blanket for stress. You got one for Christmas? And really? I don't know if I would like that, Gina. I don't like being held down. I can't stand an MRI. I don't like being confined. I don't think I would do well. I don't like being confined. Like what your brain does. Doesn't it feel like you're confined, like you're trapped? You make a lot of merch for a group in Flatbush called Flatbush Zombies to make that image. And I'm not worried about the black color. I'm just worried about, I work with Cricut, and if I make the design in there and I make the slice in it so that it has the slice, you know what I mean? I need to save it as a, I guess I don't even have to make the slice. I guess if I'm doing it in like Teespring, I could just write on it and it wouldn't even have the back of it. It wouldn't have to be a slice. They would do I don't know. I don't even like my feet tucked in. Oh, really? Got one for my husband. You feel claustrophobic under it? Does he like it, Kristen? I asked my mom about squeezing the rice, and she said, no, she hasn't done that. I'm super claustrophobic, but it's amazing. It feels like an x-ray blanket. Yeah, see, but I don't know. I think I would get really oh, I can't breathe. It's on my chest. I think I would be very anxious under it. I picked one up in the store. I couldn't believe how heavy they were. Yeah, I would feel like I can't get out of it. I'd probably have dreams that I can't get up from the weighted blanket. Good night, all angels. I'll see you soon. Okay, thanks. I stand alone. Bye. Your boyfriend doesn't like the weighted blanket. I flew it off in my sleep and it smacked his face pretty hard. That doesn't sound good, Sarah. That is one thing I need is my sheets tucked in or I can't sleep. It has to be made for me to sleep. I like weight is comforting but hate hotel beds where your feet are basically flattened from being tucked in so severely. Your boyfriend doesn't like weight. Okay. Wow. Whoops. Panic, it takes the anxiety away. It lifts it out of you. I don't know, Gina. I don't know. It's so heavy. And can you wash? How do you wash them with all that, whatever weight is in there? It's funny now, but it hurt. Good night, Ramblers. Yeah, I think we're going to call it a night. It's we'll leave it like that, and then we'll try to figure out what's going on with his sister. And we've done a lot tonight anyway. Machine wash and dry. I think that would like ruin your dryer. It would sound like something full of nuts and bolts or something, wouldn't it? I like my stress sock. It was going to be a snowman, and I finally found the sweater I was going to put on him, right? The little llama one that I really think will be so cute, which I have to make another one because this now became my stress sock. And I don't know if I should put a sweater on my stress sock. Maybe I will dress him up. I don't know. No, just wash and dry. All right, you untuck the sheets on the side of your bed. You don't like feeling restrained. I don't understand people that don't tuck in the bottom. Like people that make the bed and don't tuck the flat sheet under the mattress. I can't take that. Then you get in the bed and you grab the sheet and it just comes all the way up. That drives me insane. Oh, thanks, Lisa. All right, I guess we'll say goodnight. And yeah, prayers for everyone that needs them. Prayers for Australia and for Jamie's mom and for her and for Sunny Bunny's nephew and for Sunny Bunny and her family and for everyone that needs them in the community. All right. You just emailed me a photo of your mom. Oh, okay. All right. I'll show it when we go out. Okay. And then hang on. I think we're here. Oh, very nice. Yep, she's very pretty. Very nice, all decked out in her suit. Very nice. May she rest in peace. It's a little bit dark, but oh, I see. Historic. Okay. All right. Thanks. I'll check that out. Yeah, you can email me if you have any more tips. All right, everyone. We'll go out with this, and everybody have a safe evening. God bless. Love you guys, and prayers for all that are hurting. Hi, Carol Lucy. Goodbye, Carol Lucy. Hi, Mandy Hall. Goodbye, Mandy Hall. Hi, Sonia. Goodbye, Sonia. Okay. Catfish.